It's chaotic to take care of every patient you deal with and encounter in Animal Hospital, and there are several notable events that you'll have to tackle during your shift. These events vary from dangerous fires to horrible monsters that are attempting to cause mayhem to you, your team, or the patients themselves. Some of these problems are more predictable than others, but knowing how to deal with them during a crisis is important. We'll be covering every possible event that can happen in Animal Hospital and how you can deal with them. The ambulance emergency is a common one that you'll have to encounter. When this happens, multiple patients flood into the hospital and you'll need to treat them all. None of them have to go through the check-in process, for better or for worse. Usually one of these patients is in critical condition, meaning you have a limited time to treat them before they die. At the end of an ambulance emergency, you'll receive a monetary bonus based on how well you did. You'll want to stay on your toes as this event makes it very easy for anomalies to enter your hospital. A death ritual can occur while a patient is in a hospital bed, typically during their recovery and after you've already treated them. When the death ritual happens, the patient begins levitating on their bed and multiple candles spawn throughout the room. You'll have a short period of time to make your way through the room and interact with all of the candles to remove them before the patient dies. Unfortunately, we've tried using the fire extinguisher to knock out the candles, but this was not a valid method. You'll have to interact with each of the candles before the timer reaches 0. When a monster, primarily a skinwalker or a mimic, is revealed after being let in as a patient, they typically go after other patients. When this happens, the monster can devour them very quickly. You'll need to rush over and prevent the monster from eating the patient. You can protect them by using a gun, a taser, or your bare hands. If you take on the monster by hand, the interaction takes a few seconds to complete. You'll need to be quick if you don't have a taser or a gun on you, or a charge for either of them. Alternatively, the taser or the gun immediately takes the monster down. A monster emergence event is a rare event that occurs after a patient goes into surgery while they're in the recovery process. You'll have a short period of time to have the patient go through the surgery process again, following the steps on screen to save them. Unfortunately, you cannot use the taser or interact with the patient to save them. You can only follow the steps and provide them with the correct treatments to deal with the emergence, or you'll lose the patient to the monster. There is a chance that a large monster might appear underneath a patient's bed. Most of the time, this monster sticks to grabbing you and attempting to pull you under. However, there's also a chance that the monster will grab a patient and you'll have a brief amount of time to protect them before they get pulled underneath the bed. The best way to deal with this monster is to take a jar of maple syrup and bring it to the bed it's hiding under. Hold the maple syrup in your hands and carefully step into the red box in front of the bed. When the monster reaches out to grab you, it'll grab the maple syrup instead and allow you to pass, removing it as a threat. During ambulance emergencies, there are patients who enter in critical condition. When a patient is in critical condition, a countdown timer appears above their head. If the timer reaches 0, the patient will perish. You need to complete their entire treatment, which means performing a surgery on them, a heart monitor, an X-ray, or an analysis of their condition, depending on where they need to go. There is no way to stop the timer, which means that that patient will become your priority. If you fail to complete the minigame and stabilize the patient before the timer reaches 0, they will die. Shortly after you admit a patient to the animal hospital, they might faint. You then have a short period of time to pick them up and move them to their hospital bed before they perish. Unlike the patient critical activity, a patient fainting is far less urgent. You don't have to complete their treatment, all you have to do is get them to their bed and the timer will go away. While holding the patient, you can still complete other small activities such as using the fire extinguisher or the taser if you need to utilize them. There's a chance that when a patient rushes into the hospital, they're going to be on fire. When this happens, you need to use the fire extinguisher to put out the flames. If you fail to remove the flames before their timer runs out, they will perish. You have 60 seconds to deal with a fire, which provides plenty of time to put them out before a patient is harmed. Every so often, a room catches fire somewhere in the hospital. You need to put it out before a patient enters the room. You can do this using the fire extinguisher, or you can try to do it by hand. If you do choose to do it by hand, make sure you don't get too close to the fire, as you will take sanity damage if you do. If a patient enters a room while it's on fire, they'll faint. You'll then need to put the fire out, pick up the patient, and take them to a new hospital bed. The best way to deal with any room fire is to use the fire extinguisher from a safe distance until the flames are completely out. You can do this from outside the room before having to go inside to eliminate the smaller spots that you might have missed. You'll take sanity damage if you get too close to the flames though, so be careful. That's all there is to know about events in Animal Hospital. If you're not sure what class to pick or you want to learn some lore about some of the characters you'll meet in the hospital, head on over to your IGN wiki guide.